Hello everybody, this is Vicki, aka the Virginia Stitcher, coming to you with a Flosstube Extra. This is going to be called my Fall Extravaganza. And this is a result of a challenge by Stephanie, Lindy Stitches. She is a designer for Lindy Stitches. She also has a Flosstube channel. And she just recently put up a video of her Fall Extravaganza, and then asked anybody else to show and post and show off their fall designs, their stash, their whips, their finished projects. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you noticed, I have switched my view. I used to face this way towards this window where the light of the window would shine, give me my light, and it was working. But I'm thinking if I face this way and I have my aught light, I'm sitting behind my desk now. Usually the desk was off to my side, and I'm sitting behind my desk. So you're seeing the wall that has the window on it. So I'm hoping that this won't add too much glare. I tried to kind of shift. In fact, I can shift a little bit more so that window glare wouldn't be messing with you guys too much. But I do have my aught light turned on at my stitchy spot here in my craft room. Let me see if I could I can't do that. But one time I might show you how where my stitchy spot is. It's just a little chair that's in my little padded chair, and my light stand. And I sit in here, and I have a TV on the wall over here, and I can stream Flosstube up on it, and I watch it and I stitch. Sometimes I stitch in the other room and watch TV with my husband, and sometimes I sit in here. And I do have a little dog bed in here, and my dogs will sit in here with me sometimes while I'm stitching, or sometimes they sit and I sit on a chair that has an ottoman, and they lay on the ottoman near my feet. So they're so adorable. I love them. It's Maya and Molly, my two little Morkies. They're Maltese Yorkie mixes, and they are fluffy, adorable handfuls of little fur. So let's get started with my fall haul, and let me show you what I got. The first thing that I'm going to show you is something that I had stitched many years ago, and it's been sitting in a box. I had it framed years ago, probably stitched this in the late 90s. I stitched it from a pattern that was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine that came out in the 90s. I don't have the magazine anymore. I can't tell you what issue it was. I can't even tell you what the name of the pattern was or who the designer was. But the frame broke, and then I took her out and I stuck her in a box, and she sat in a box now for probably at least 10 years. And this is, I call her my little pumpkin witch. She actually is stuck on a piece of tacky board. But she was framed. I'm thinking of either I'll get a new frame for her, or I will finish her in a different way. I might, put some fabric behind her, put on some kind of a different kind of board, a la Priscilla, do a fancier finish for her. But you can see she's on a tacky board, because a lot of times I couldn't get it quite all to lay real flat. But I just loved her. I love her colors. She's just so adorable. She's so cute. Look at her little striped stockings. She is just too cute. And when she was in a frame, she was matted. Like I said, she was finished probably 15 years, 20, like at least 20 years ago. I stitched her up. And I would get her out for Halloween, and she would hang on the wall. But I haven't seen her for probably at least 10 years. Poor little thing. She's been stuck in a box, just sitting in storage. So I'm so glad I still have her. I wished I had signed and dated her, so I'm trying to be really good at signing and dating my pieces now, so that I know when absolutely do know when I finish them. But unfortunately, I can just guess that she was probably late 90s, maybe early 2000, but probably late 90s. The next piece is this is an old whip. Now I'm going to show you my whips, and I'm going to start with my oldest fall whip that I have sitting here. And this is the Classic Collection by Stony Creek. It's Halloween Scarecrows. And I was doing this piece here. the picture. And I still love it. It is on, looks like an 18 count Aida, a crew color, like an off-white. And in fact, I still have a thread hanging here where I was stitching in the middle. But I have a lot of the Scarecrows done. I think there's a little bit more back stitching that needs to be finished in these guys. And there is a crow that sits on his arm. And then there's a little witch down here in the middle that is sitting on top of a pumpkin and holding a broom. So, and there's the sign. So I still need to finish this middle part, this crow, and do the back stitching in the Scarecrow couple. But I still love this piece. And when I do finish it, I will have this out on display for the fall, for Halloween. It could be just a fall piece if I didn't put the witch in, but I'm still going to go ahead and put the witch in there. So that is an ancient whip that one of these days I plan on getting finished. So just love that piece. And oh, I had my previous Flosstube Extra was teaching you guys, well, not really teaching, but just kind of giving some tips, some basic cross stitch for beginners, and maybe a few little tips that could help you out. And I was saying how I'm a self-taught stitcher. I started in the mid 80s cross stitching, and I didn't have anybody. As a little girl, I did some very simple, different kind of stitching. I did. My mom used to take these. They were like iron-on transfers of embroidery designs. And I can remember having these little kittens and little flowers and things like that she transferred and ironed onto some pillowcases, the edging of a pillowcase. And I can remember stitching those and learning some embroidery when I was probably like 7, 8 years old. And then I did a little bit of kind of like punch needle, like the little card stuff, and other kind of stitching when I was a kid. So I did learn how to do like a daisy stitch and things like that as a child. And but I had never cross stitched. I even had done something that was called chicken scratch back in like the very, very early 80s, probably when I was probably like 20. You took like a plaid fabric and you would stitch in a design in the plaid. I had done that a long time ago. My mom did some candle wicking. If anybody remembers what that is, she did that in the 70s, and I can remember but that was a lot of knots. So if you don't like French knots, you probably wouldn't like candle wicking, and she did some of that back in the day too. So there is some stitching in my background from when I was a kid, but never, I remember I did stamped cross stitch, so I knew, to put the X over every stamped X. So when I picked up my first cross stitch, basically they would have these simple charts in them like this, and it would just show you how to make your X. And that's how I learned, was just going by what was in the leaflet. So that came with that Stony Creek one back in, this one is dated, this Scarecrow piece is dated 1997. So my next whip is more current whip. Now we're into my current ones that I've started this past year. And this one is The First Thanksgiving by Twin Peak Primitives. And I have shown you guys this one in my whip parade. And I think I had been working on it not too long ago. I did pick it up and I was working on it just the other day, just a few days ago. So I got a little bit more progress on this one. This one is being stitched on 16 count dirty Aida. And I'm using some of the called fors and some I have subbed in, colors I've subbed in. And this is how far I was able to get on this one. I'm loving this piece. So this one's The First Thanksgiving. And that's how far I was able to get on this one so far. This one is just beautiful. And it's in this beautiful fall bag that I picked up from Little Boat 88 on Etsy. I think she's in Canada. So any of you Canadian viewers, I believe she's in Canada. But I had picked up this this bag from her, this vinyl fronted bag. and put this piece in there. She does some really pretty project bags, so if you're interested, check her out. The next piece is a small piece. This one is by Shannon Designs, and this one is called Trick or Treat. Looks like this. And I had already had the top part finished up here and the border all the way around. And I picked it up, and I had worked on this gingham stripe down here, and I started on this little trick-or-treater, this little witch trick-or-treater. I got part of her costume done. So that is how far I've gotten on this one. This one's not that big. This one is stitched on 16 count dirty Aida with the called for DMCs. And these 3 little trick-or-treaters that are going to go across the bottom, they're just adorable. So that is that one. I'm hoping to have this one finished for this October, but we'll see. We'll see if I get that one done. It's not that big. I just have to get focused on it. And I'm squirrel. I think I'm gonna be focused on something. I'm gonna. That's why I say I'd like to. I don't say I am, because with me you never know. I might pull out a Christmas thing. I don't know. This next piece is Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. And I had started on this one in August. I think I pulled this one out and had started on it, worked on it one day so far. I'd like to get some more work done on this one. And this one is on a 16 count Aida, and it is in the color Storm by Picture This Plus. And let me make sure I'm showing you the right side. Nope, that's the back side. And this is what it looks like so far. It's a little wrinkly. Sorry about that. It was in its project bag. So I got the top border done. One of the things that's I like everything to be even, and that's why I have trouble with linen, because the stitches the threads aren't even, and it bothers me. Well, this one, it looks like I forgot to do that, but the pattern you're actually not supposed to. And there are some of these like berries that come down that they'll maybe be missing some of their stitches. And there was one here that was supposed to be missing a stitch, and I thought, why? It doesn't bump into the moon. So let me show you. See, there's one completely missing here. So I've left it off for now because it might not bother me once this does all get filled in. But there are some that were missing a stitch, like right in here. But I went ahead and put that little extra stitch because it's not running into the moon. So I went ahead and put it there. But see, there's one that's going to be missing over here and here. So I'll probably, for the most part, stitch it like it is. But if it doesn't look like it's going to run into any of the other stitches and I feel like it, I might go ahead and stitch in the rest. But that's what I have so far on this one. And I pulled that one out. I love Blackbird Design pieces. I just don't have a whole lot of them yet, or have started a whole lot yet. But I'm loving this piece. I'm going to try to keep my stuff kind of together since I've got so many different things to show you guys. I don't want to have stuff scattered everywhere, and I got to figure out what goes with what. The next piece is by Layla Studios, and this is Halloween Quaker. And it looks like this. And because most of the time I'm a left-hand corner, upper left-hand corner starter, I had gotten some of this done, and that's it. I didn't get very far on this one yet. This one is being stitched on 16 count Aida in the color Mirage. And the reason I'm facing this way is I'm hoping that it looks like the colors of the fabric is showing up more truer. This is really true to the color, the way this looks in person. And also you can see the modeling better too. I think the window was blowing out a little bit, the colors of my fabric, but that is how far I've been able to get so far on this one. And I'm wanting to pick this one up now that we're getting into the fall Halloween season and get some more work done on this one also. So I've got quite a bit I want to get working on. But this one's, I put this one in a bag that I made with Halloween fabric. So this one's being housed in this bag. And I love the Halloween fabrics and just the fall colors of stuff. Okay, this next one is the first in a series that I have by Nora Corbett of the Bewitching Pixies. And this one is Gigi. And she's a whip. I've started her. Actually, I've restarted her this past week. Last weekend, I had been doing her on the called for fabric, which was milk chocolate. So I was doing her on a 16 count milk chocolate Ada. And it just looked kind of flat and kind of boring. And I thought, I knew I had this fabric flare fabric. Not sure what this one is called, but I restitched her. I started her back on this one. And so this is how far I was able to get on Gigi. I think this is like 2 or 3 days I was working on her last weekend. And I'm hoping, I think she's going to look better on this fabric than on the milk chocolate. So I restarted her, and she's in this other bag, this other Halloween bag that I had made. These bags were made using a tutorial by Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and her tutorial is very easy to follow. I am not an expert stitcher by any means whatsoever, and the hardest thing is probably putting the zipper in on these. And once you learn how to use your zipper foot, if you're not that much of a sewer and never really have messed with zippers, which I hadn't, that was the hardest part for me. And then just making sure the direction, if I had a directional fabric, that I had it going in the right direction. But I was able to do that and love it. This next one is, like I said, this is Nora Corbett, the Bewitching Pixies series, and this one is Anna. And I haven't started her yet. I've only started on Gigi because I'm telling myself that I only want to work on one at a time. Once I get Gigi finished, I can pick another one. And I have a piece of that fabric flare fabric cut and ready for her. And I've already picked up her bead pack. One of the things I have learned with Mirabilia's, Nora Corbett's, and even somewhat Lavender and Lace is that if you really like the pattern, especially Mirabilia's and Nora Corbett's, they'll go out of print and then they don't come back. So if you really like it, you need to get it. Another thing that I learned was that if it has specialty threads and beads and bead packs and things like that, it's best to get those also and just have them in your stash and ready for in the future when you do have the time or you get around to stitching them. So that's what I do. I had a piece by Lavender and Lace that was I think it was the Summer Celtic lady. And I had the pattern, but I thought, oh, well, one of these days I'll just pick up her, the rest of the things that I need to stitch her. And she was using needle paints and they stopped making those. So now I have to try to find a different thread to finish her with, but at least that was just a thread, and I can alter and find something to do with her. But I'm always afraid Mill Hill is going to stop making certain beads and things like that, and you won't be able to find them anymore, and then you're going to have to try to figure out how to adjust your pattern. So moving on with Nora Corbett, the next one in the Bewitching Pixie series that I have is Minerva. So I have her, and again, I have a piece of the fabric flare already cut, ready to stitch her on, and I have her beads. I've already picked up her beads, and then just the DMCs that she uses. And the next one that I have in the series is Xenia, and I have the same fabric flare fabric, her beads. She only had a couple of beads. She's not a heavily beaded one. She only calls for actually only one bead, one Mill Hill bead. So if you're wanting to try to start a Nora Corbett, Mirabilia type of one, and you don't want to have a lot of beads and stuff, she might be one you might want to think about. She only has a one called for bead. So she just has this one bead that is called for her. And then she has all these, and the rest is DMC. I don't think she has any. She doesn't even have any cry neck. So there's no metallic. Not seeing any on here. And there's just the one bead. So she might be one that if you just wanted to try them out without having to do all the beading and stuff. The next one that I have is Luna. And I saw her stitched up by somebody a while back, probably last fall. And she was beautiful, even more pretty than this picture here. The teals and the oranges just popped off of her fabric. And she does have beads. There is I believe, a bead pack for her. So I have her whole bead pack and the flosses. But I'm going to stitch her. My plan is to stitch her on this darker 16 count Aida in the color Barnwood. So I'm going to try that one. I think that's going to, the teals and the oranges, I think are going to really pop really nice on this one. So that is her. And then the last I have, this one's a Mirabilia in these ladies, these witching ladies. But this one is called the Raven Queen. And this one is by Mirabilia. And this one does call for some Krynic and some water lilies and a whole pack of beads. So I went ahead and picked up all of her beads and her specialty threads and everything. And I have them here in the bag ready for her and all the DMCs. So she's ready. I just got to get her, pick out a fabric for her, and I could start her whenever I'm ready. But like I said, I'm trying not to have too many Mirabilias or Nora Corbetts or anything like that going all at once. Because I also have Lavender Lace Ladies and things like that. The next two I have, these are whips. These are whips, though I haven't touched these in a little while, so I'm ready to start working on these again. These two are housed in one of the large Garon Toten bags by Garon Toten Bags. You can find them online. Gary and Ronnie, Gary's part of the Sunshine Stitchers. They have a Flosstube channel. I love them. They're some of my favorite floss tubers, and I just absolutely love them. And I bought two of the mini bags to go with the bag. So this is a small one because both of the projects that are housed in this bag come with beads and specialty threads. So I wanted to keep those together for each of them. This first one is by Glendon Place that is in this bag. And it is Sleepy Hollow. This one has Krynic and some beads and things like that. And this, the moon is actually stitched with lemon and lime Caron water lilies thread. So it's a silk thread and lemon and lime. And the fabric I picked for this one was called, I think it's Haunted. I think I picked it, yep. But it's 28 count Haunted Cashel linen is the called for. And I'm doing it on Haunted 16 count Aida instead. But there's still the color Haunted. And like I said, this lighting should give you a really good, true color of what this fabric looks like. And so far, I've gotten the back end of a horse done. There you go. Started on his tail here. Got his most of his back two legs. I started on that hoof, and his saddle here. Because I did a center start on this one. And which is about right here, and then I've worked my way that way. But look at the beautiful modeling in this this fabric. Isn't that beautiful? And I think all of those colors are just going to pop on this. Let me see if this is the project bag for this one. Yes, this Caron water lilies, and I believe it's a silk. Let me look. It is a silk thread, and it's in these beautiful colors. And on this fabric for the moon, I think it's just going to pop. That moon is just going to glow. I think that's going to be really, really, really pretty. So that is that project. Let me make sure I put it. And I have the beads and the Krynic that go for Sleepy Hollow. Kind of just popped them all in this one small bag inside the larger bag so I can keep my stuff together. Keep myself organized so I know what I'm doing around here. And they both have a lot of the same flosses, the same DMCs, and I've just put them in one of these larger containers like this. I think I picked this one up at Walmart. You can get them at Walmart for like three or four, maybe $5. I think this only was like $3 or $4. And I can fit even scissors and needles in here. And when I'm working with a particular thread, I might put it over to the side and in the box. But this next piece is by Bella Filipina, and this one is called Bellatrix. Isn't she gorgeous? I just love her. And I had started up in this corner up here, and I had done everything but the beading and the cryonic. So I'd done all of the stitches in that regular thread, and I've done this archway except for the beading and the cryonic. And I've done this ball of fire that she's holding in her hand. So now I want to come down and start working on her and working on this podium. But she is being stitched on 16 count Aida. Oh, she's on a mystery linen. I mean, a mystery fabric. But she is 16, it is 16 count linen, 16 count Aida. I don't make 16 count linen, not that I know of. I think this is shale, maybe. Am I showing you the right side? Yes. Sometimes I show you guys the back side, but that's how far I was able to get on this one so far. Double that up. See, I think now you guys are going to be able to see the mottling more in my fabric. And so she's going to start getting stitched in right down in here. So, and this is as wide as it is, but it's a longer, skinnier pattern. I just love this one. I love them all. I can stitch all the things if I need more than 24 hours in a day, or if I didn't need to sleep, I could get even more done. Sleep, eat, do housework. Who wants to do housework? Can't justify having a maid, so I can just sit and stitch. I just can't. Just, you know. But my house can get dusty. No. My poor husband. The next ones are in this big bin. Let me see if I can move all this aside for a minute. Let me put it on the floor so I can scoot this bin over closer. Let's see, what do we got in my, I've got a big bin full of more fall and Halloween. So here's the next one. This is another bag that I made using Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, her tutorial. So it has just a zipper closure. And this one has my most recent Halloween one that I've been working on. And this one is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Let me see if I can show it to you guys without too much of a glare. So that's Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And I'm working on this block right up here. And when I had showed it to you before at my last regular Flosstube video, I had just started it, excuse me, and I had stitched in the border, the black square, and I had just gotten a few of these little lines of like weeds up around the tombstones there. And I told you it looked like a graph chart, and that was all I had. Where is it? I am stitching this one on a 16 count Aida in the colorway J-A-Y by Picture This Plus. And I have gotten this far. Oops. Look at me. I'm getting ready to drop things on the floor. I can't set things in my lap evidently without knocking things on the floor. But that's how far I was able to get. Let me show it up closer for you guys. So I was able to finish the grass and the tombstones, and you can see a snake right here winding himself around in that graveyard, and I've started the building. And this is a quite large piece of Aida because it's got 12 squares, and each square is 92 by 92 inches. And it's gonna fill in most of this fabric. And see, that is true to the true color. when I was trying to show it before, it was either coming in dark or too light. It was blowing out or getting shadowed. So it's like a purpley blue color, and it's really pretty. I'm thinking these colors are going to look really nice on this color of Ada. So that is my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Throw it down there. I'm getting a... And then this is another bag that I had made using the Elizabeth Ann Ken Stitch tutorial on a zippered front project bag. And this one has... This one is something that is kitted up but not started yet. But this is on my radar to be started maybe this year. I already have it kitted up. And this is called Playing with Jacks by the Cricket Collection. I just love this. This here screams fall to me. The colors and pumpkins. And I have picked out a piece of 16 count Ada in the color Moon Glow to stitch this piece on. It's not that big of a pattern. So that's my piece of fabric. And this is just a really pretty bright orangey yellow piece of fabric. And I already have all of the flosses picked out and put in one of these smaller containers and ready to go. So I'm ready to start that one. So when I feel ready to have something new to work on and I get the itch to just start stitching on this one's ready. Get it all put away in its bag. So that piece. And the next one is, I think, another one that's fully kitted. This basket is tall. Let me put it on the floor. I didn't want to have to keep reaching down, but I guess I'm going to have to. This one is in another really pretty fall bag. Actually, this one's got coffee inside of it. And this one I did not make. This one I had purchased off of Etsy. And I think this, I don't know to say this is a dot dot goose, but I'm not sure because I thought she put her insignia on her bags. Oh, yes, she does. This is a, yep, dot dot goose bag. And this one is not started, but it's fully kitted, and it is Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. Has a lot of stuff I like. I love sweater weather. I always tell my husband, I said, sweater weather is my perfect time of year. Because after the hot, humid summers we have here in Virginia, here on the east coast of the United States, it's nice when the weather starts to cool down. You get those crisp, cool mornings, and you can just go out in jeans and a sweater and just be totally comfortable with the sun beating down on you. And also it has little doggies and all of the fall colors that I love. So I've already picked out the fabric I'm thinking of doing this one on. And this is a 16 count piece of Ada in the color Mellow by Picture This Plus. And again, this one's not that big of a pattern. So this is my piece of fabric. I already have a needle in my fabric because I was going to get ready to start it. I'd actually already started, yep, here's my needle. I'd already started this one on some old piece of fabric I had, and it was like a weird, kind of like even weave that I had picked up from some craft store, and I just wasn't liking it. It was a real loose weave, real see-through. So I think I'll like it better stitched on this, because here are the called for threads for this one. And I'm going to do it on this fabric. So I have the threads ready on the floss drop and my fabric all kitted up in this bag, ready to go. So can't wait to get started on that one. The next one is one that I picked up when I was at StitchCon. I picked this one up at Keepsakes in Ohio, and they had this one stitched up, the model of this stitched up, and it was really pretty. And this one is by Waxing Moon Designs, and it's called Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. So I have not started this one yet, but I did pick out a piece of fabric. I did pick out this 16 count Aida in the color Shale. And I think this is the other side of the piece of fabric that I'm stitching Bellatrix on. That's why I think she's on Shale. I might have to pull her out and look and see, because this was a really large piece of fabric. It was a 26 by 35 inch piece. And now I have a 26 by 18 inch piece left. So I think I cut this in half and used half for Bellatrix. So I have another good size piece that I can do this Eat, Drink, and Be Scary on. In fact, I think I only need probably a quarter of this. I probably only need this much, because that's not a really huge piece. So then I might be able to have some more of this left for another project. This next one is by Collection Tralala, and it is called Un Autumn. And it is a little witch and her little mousy friend. And the pumpkins and the birds. I thought this one was really cute. This one is not that large of a piece. This one is only 87 by 98 stitches. So this one probably can stitch up fairly quickly. And I did pick myself a piece of, oh, this was a really old piece of Aida that I had left over back when we used to have a cross stitch store, a local needleworks shop here in Fredericksburg called Everything Cross Stitch in downtown Fredericksburg. I picked this piece of fabric up there because I can remember they used to write like that on your fabric. And look at that. Look at the price. I wish. This was a 10 by 12, and it was 2 pieces in here for $3. But this was probably back in like 2000, like over 20 years ago that I picked up this piece of fabric. And it's an 18 count Aida in the color Platinum. So I think it looks very close to the color that the model is stitched on. And I already have the DMCs pulled for this one. So I'm all ready to get started on this one soon. And then the next one that I have kitted up but not started is by Little House Needleworks. And let me open and get it out of the bag here. This one is the Autumn Band Sampler. So this one's not very large either. This one looks like that it'll only be it's 61 stitches by 149 stitches. And the finished size will be, I've figured it out on 16 count Aida, it'll come out to 3 3/4 inches by 9 1/4 inches. So I picked out a piece of fabric, and this is just a piece of 16 count Aida. Don't know what the color is. And I've already, sometimes I zigzag, I get on my sewing machine and I'll zigzag stitch the edges of my fabric so they don't fray so much when I have the time. So I did pick out this piece of fabric, and this looks like it's like maybe lamb's wool or something. It's one of the lighter plain Aidas. It's not an over-dyed Aida. And I already have the flosses picked out for it. So this one's all kitted and ready. Whenever I feel like getting started on this one. Let me set that one aside. These next 2 projects are by, let me see if I can pronounce this semi-correctly. I'm sure I'm going to slaughter this, but this is by an Italian designer, Core Ibattacore. And this is what they call their pin keeps, their Halloween pin keeps. And aren't all 6 of these adorable? My problem is going to be picking out which one to stitch first. I like them all. I can't say I like any one better than the other one. They're all just adorable. I don't have fabric set aside for it, but I do have, it was in this bag, and I have the DMC flosses picked out for this one, the called for ones, called for DMC. So I do have that part of that one ready. And then the next one by Corey Ebafakore is Halloween in Quilt. And that is this piece right here. See if I can make sure that you don't have very much glare. Isn't this just cute? She has some really pretty patterns. Really, really pretty. And I do have, yes, I have the DMCs already in the bag for this one. I just don't have the fabric set aside for this one. So that is that one. And now the rest of these I don't think are kitted at all. These next two are two patterns that I picked up at the Annex at StitchCon back in June. And they're Sue Hillis designs. And these were stitched up and on display at the trunk show in the Annex. And this one is called Hello Autumn. And I just loved everything about this one. I love the colors, love that red pickup. I love the pumpkins and the sunflowers. Even love the lettering, the way she did her lettering. So I picked that one up. That one's not kitted yet. And then also Happy Halloween. Well, it's actually called Witch Hat by Sue Hillis. And I will probably stitch it this way. But you can also stitch each one of these hats as an individual ornament if you want to. But this was on display, stitched up there, and was just so pretty, all of the colors. And I've already picked a piece of 16 count Aida for this one, and the color Sprite by Picture This Plus. This one probably going to be a little hard to pick up. Maybe if I put it against this whiteboard. It's a very, very light lavenderish color. See how that's just slightly lavender, like a pinkish lavender? Because it fell off my lap. Hold on. It's in a slippery bag. See how the fabric looks kind of purple, kind of lavender? So I picked this piece, and I've already pulled the DMC colors. And so I think that's going to work out really nice for this one. So that is the two Sue Hillis designs that I have for fall. I'll put these all back in the bag. Otherwise, I won't know why these DMCs are sitting on my desk. And I'll be like, oh no, what pattern did that go to? Let me pull the last few out of my big bin. This next one is by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Autumn ABCs. And I only have the chart. I have not kitted this one yet. I have all of the seasons. I have the spring, the summer, the winter, and the autumn. So that's the Autumn ABCs by Little House Needleworks. The next one is by the Cricket Collection, and this one is Autumn. And there again, I have all four of the seasons. They do have some monthlies. I do not have the monthlies. I just have the seasons. Been very tempted on the monthlies also. But for right now, I got all four seasons. And this is Autumn by the Cricket Collection. These next few are Prairie Schoolers. And I'm not going to take them out of the plastic. They're plastic bags. I'm hoping I can do very little glare here. This one is called Thanksgiving Comes Again by the Prairie Schooler, and I love this one. I like these. I think these would be cute done as like the pumpkin and the squirrel and stuff, maybe done up as little pillows. But I really liked this with the saying. It says, every time I have to read, I gotta put on my reading glasses. I can't see. The harvest all is gathered in and chilly, north winds blow, orchards have shared their treasures, the fields their yellow grain, so open wide the doorway, Thanksgiving comes again. So I really thought that one was really pretty. Really nice. And then When Witches Go Riding by the Prairie Schooler. Love that. And it's even got the smaller one, but of course I'm not probably going to do this one. And it said, when witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, 'tis near Halloween. I love that one. And then this next one I have are autumn samplers. And I've already picked out some Ada, 16 count Ada for these. And these are the 3 autumn ones, and I love all 3. But I think I might start with the leaves, maybe. Whenever I pick this one up, I will decide. But I've already cut 3 pieces of this Ada, so that if I wanted to do them all 3 the same. And I think this might be in maybe Beautiful Beige. I'm not sure what the colorway is of this Ada. And the next one I have in a mesh bag, so let me take that out. This is, because I already have the DMCs pulled for this one, so this one's partially kitted. This one is Pumpkin Patch by Prairie Schooler. So it comes with both the larger and the smaller. I want to stick to this larger one. It says, see the yellow pumpkin, fat and round, growing in a patch on the ground. It will make a jack-o'-lantern with 2 big eyes, or maybe I will bake it into 2 fat pies. So I love that one. Pumpkin Patch by the Prairie Schooler. And I've already pulled some of the DMCs, for that one. I just need to get a piece of fabric, and I'll be ready to stitch on that one when I'm ready. And then the last fall one I have in my collection. This one is by Rosewood Manor, and this is the Autumn Quakers. And if you've watched some of my previous ones, I've already been working on spring and summer, but I also have autumn and winter. So this is the Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I have the called for Valdani threads, and I have the called for fabric, but I have it in a 28 count even weave in doubloon. They called for a 28 count linen, and I just got the even weave. So I have the Valdani thread pack that goes with this. I don't know, is that showing up for you guys? And the doubloon 28 count even weave. Isn't that gorgeous altogether? Let me see if I can get my fingers out of the way so you can see the threads, but isn't that really pretty? So I'm ready to get started on this one. I try to stitch on things, not that I try, it's that I prefer. I find that I'm a seasonal stitcher, so I really do like to work on fall pieces and in the fall, and winter pieces in the winter, and the spring and summer pieces in the spring and summer. So my plan is to do that with these. So I'm going to get started on this fall one soon, this autumn one, because actually the first day of fall is what, in about a week, I think, because today is September 17th. So I think next week is the first day of fall. And the only other thing I have in my bin are 2 of the Just Cross Stitch magazines. And this one is from Halloween last year. And then I have the collector's edition for Halloween for this year. This was just the regular magazine, and this one is the collector's. I'm sure you've seen this one. A lot of people are showing this one. And this one really does have a lot of beautiful patterns in it. Really, really like this one. And then the little card was falling out of it. Let me stick it back in there. So that is it. That is my fall, Halloween, autumn, fall extravaganza, as Stephanie from Lindy Stitches is calling it. So that is all of my whips, finishes, collection of everything fall. I hope this has given you guys some eye candy if you love fall and fall projects as much as I do. I love all I'm looking at these and I love going through them. I love pulling them out and looking at every single chart I have, because I can't say there is a one that I say, I don't think I like it anymore. I love them all. So I need to live to be at least 100 and I can stitch everything. Well, I probably won't, because designers will keep designing and they'll keep coming out with new things and more stuff to love. But because I'm facing this other wall, these aren't hanging on the wall, but they are propped here. I have Firefly Fairies by Lavender and Lace that I finished many, many, many years ago, probably early 2000s. Same thing with Lady of the Flag. She was, I think I finished her in either 2002 or 2003, because as soon as this was commissioned for 9/11, I went and purchased it, because if you look way back in my Whip Parade videos and I show her, a story goes with her. But there's even more of a story that goes with her, a little bit. I told you that I was married to a firefighter. My first husband was a Fairfax County firefighter, and he was actually, I think he was a captain already. He may have still been a lieutenant, but I think he was a captain with the Fairfax County Fire Department. And he went when the Pentagon got hit, and I tell the whole story about that. But now, fast forward another 20 years later, and when 9/11 happened, I was married to my first husband, and he was a firefighter. Now I'm married to a retired naval corpsman who would deploy with the Marines, and he was their doc. He was the one that would patch them up if they needed it. So he ended up being deployed right after 9/11 and went to serve a tour over in Iraq. Well, he has 3 combat tours, Desert Shield and Storm, and then he did Iraqi Freedom and things like that. So not only was I married to a firefighter when this happened, but then I'm married to, and I wasn't married to him at the time, but married to a man who ended up going and helping, out on the war front after 9/11, and for all of that stuff. So I'm just thankful that he came home all in one piece, and he tells me about a couple close calls he did have, but he managed to make it through, and we met, and a few years after that, and been together ever since. So I feel like I'm rambling now. So I enjoyed this time with you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you loved seeing all of my fall goodies that I have. And come back again on Tuesday. I plan on filming my regular video, which will show you all of the whips that I've been working on these last couple of weeks. And I wish you guys a really great weekend and happy stitching. You guys have a good time. Bye.